Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In the last few videos, we've talked about fraction, decimal, and percent conversions. Today, we're going to get into harder things, okay? Today we're going to talk about the percent proportion, and I love the percent proportion, and I gotta be honest with you, I use it every time I'm stuck with a challenging percent problem. Just going to let you know, I still use this every day, and I'm really good at math in my head, okay? You would hope so. I'm a math teacher, right? Now, we're going to talk about the percent proportion. Your objective is, as a student, you should be able to identify the percent proportion and use it to solve for missing values. Now, that seems like a lot, but it's actually really awesome and really easy. So let's get started. You need graphic organizer number 4, side 2. Okay, you should be on side 2. You already have this from the last video. You're just going to continue it. Okay, and I'm sorry, but the objective down there at the bottom was wrong, but that's okay. So what are we going to use this for? What are we going to use this percent proportion for? Well, we're going to use it every time we calculate taxes, tips, coupons, discounts, and percent of problems, which we're going to start with today because that's the easiest part. So here we go, the percent proportion. Okay, what does it do? Well, it compares part of a quantity to the whole quantity, called the base, using a percent. Now, that's what you need to write down at the top of your graphic organizer, but I'll show you more in a few minutes. Now, we would normally call the percent proportion part over base equals the percent over 100. Remember, it's going to compare the part of a quantity to the whole quantity, which they called the base. Now, that's important when you get into 7th and 8th grade percentages and the higher level percentages. But for our purposes, and what you'll use in the beginning of 7th grade, is this one. It's the same exact thing. Is over of equals percent over 100. And this is super important. You need to memorize this proportion. Is over of equals percent over 100. Now, why does it say percent over 100? Well, remember, if you remember that video where we had that crazy math antics guy, that crazy old dude, say percents are always out of 100, okay? That's important. Percents are always out of 100. So we're going to use the is over of equals percent over 100 proportion. Notice it says we will use this. Okay? You're going to use this a ton in my class. So here we go. Okay? We're going to get started. This is an example. A question such as, what percent of 15 is 9? What percent of $15 is $9? Now, wait a minute. Remember we talked about is over of, and I want you to write this proportion down every time. Is over of equals percent over 100. Now, we're going to pay attention. Watch this, okay? What percent? The percent is the thing that we do not know, okay? Is, notice the word is. That's important. Is. And finally, if you look right here, you see the word of. Okay, so if I created a percent proportion based on this, remember it is over of equals percent over 100. Now all you simply do is plug in the numbers in the right place. So watch. Okay, but underneath this, we're going to fill them in. Is, notice it says is $9. Is $9. It's always going to come after the word is, so we're going to put $9. Okay, notice where it says of, it says of 15. Guess what? Of is 15. And it says what percent? That's the thing we don't know. What percent? Well, that means we have X percent out of 100. Now, that looks really simple to a proportion, doesn't it? All you have to do is simply cross multiply and divide. So 9 times 100 is, well, 900, and we're going to divide that by 15. Okay, and I didn't leave much room, but we're going to show it anyway. 15 goes into 9 0 times, but 90 goes into it, let's see, 6 times. 6 times 15 is 90. Subtract, we have a 0, we got to bring it down. How many times does 15 go into 0? 0 times. Okay, and we subtract, and it's going to be our end. It is 60. So, our answer is X equals 60. And it's money, because we've been talking about money. Oh, sorry, it's 60%. I'm sorry, it's 60%. Duh, our label's right here. Okay, 60%. So it says, what percent of $15 is $9? Well, it's 60%. That's us using the percent proportion. Here we go. We got another one. All right, what number is 30% of 150? Now, that time we actually know the percent. So the percent, yeah, it's going to be 30% over 100. Of, we know the of. Okay, what we don't know is what number is. It says what number is. So let's go ahead and put this one in. Remember, it's is over of equals percent over 100. So let's go ahead and plug in our numbers. That's going to be simple. We've got 30%. Okay, we have that number in there. Remember, it's always out of 100. Is, it says what number is. That means we don't know what that is, so it's going to be x and simply of 150. What do? Well, you simply cross multiply. 150 times 30, whew, that's 4,500. Okay, I can do that one in my head for you guys, 4,500. And we're going to divide that by 100, which I'm going to use it this way. Okay, because remember, there's a little trick to this. The zeros at the end, you can do it the long division way if you need to, but I'm going to show you this trick. There's a 0 at the top and the bottom. They cross out. There's a 0 at the top and the bottom. They cross off. That leaves us with 45 divided by 1, which happens to be 45. That's our answer. X equals 45. Congratulations. So that means 45 is 30% of 150. Let's move on. Example number 3. Like I said, I love these. You're going to see a lot of these, and you did see a lot of these on your NWEA test. Okay, 12 is 80% of what? Well, let's see if we can identify it together. This 12 is, well, this one you have to be careful. 12 is 80%. Well, this is goes with the 12, okay, because the other one has a percent symbol. Okay, so here we go. We're going to say 12, because remember, is over of equals percent over 100. So 12 is 80%. Oop, 80% goes over here. 100 goes at the bottom of what number? Well, it doesn't know, so that's x. 12 times 100 is simply 1200, and we're going to divide that by 80. Okay, 1200 divided by 80. I'm going to let you know, you can cross off that 0 on the both sides like I just showed you, and we have 120 divided by 80. 8 goes into 12 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract, we get 40. 8 goes into 45 times. Notice I'm only using 8 because I crossed those off. And that's 40, and we're done. The answer is 15. I don't have to add the 0 back on because I'm actually done. I cut them both off. The answer is 15. Okay? If that's confusing to you, you might want to see Mr. Williams or just do regular division. Don't care. The answer is 15. So 12 is 80% of 15. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here you go. You're going to see the same thing. Congratulations. All right, last example, I believe. Here we go. What percent is 15 of 20? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and identify what percent. Oops, sorry, we have a ton of examples. We have 5 examples. So remember, we're going to use is over of equals percent over 100. So I've already got my part of my proportion set up. Remember, this is the percent, this is, and this is of, correct? So let's go ahead and put in our numbers. What percent? That's the unknown. So it's going to be x percent over 100 is 15. Well, is 15 of 20. 20 goes at the bottom because that's where of is, and 15's at the top. Go ahead and cross multiply. 15 times 100 is simply 1500. Okay, remember 15 times 1, add the 2 zeros. We're going to divide that by 20. Okay, I'll do it the other way this time so you guys don't get confused like I did on the last one. 20 does not go into 15, but it does go into 150. 7 times. 7 times 20 is 140. Subtract, we get 100 left over, and that would be 20 goes into 105 times. Congratulations, we are done. The answer is x equals 75, and you have to label it. Remember, we're dealing with percent this time, and once another percent, so you have to put the label. X equals 75%. All right, example number 5. Whew. What is 80% of 50? So, remember, is over of equals percent over 100. Is of equals percent over 100. So here we go. What is? What is? Doesn't know is. That's the x. 80%? 80%. Okay, the percentage is always on the right. Of 50. Congratulations, of's at the bottom. 50 times 8. Well, let's take this 8 times this 5, and that gives us 40. But we have to add 2 zeros. Why do we have to have 2 zeros? Because there's a 1 on each, okay? Because there's 1 on each. There we go. 4,000 divided by 100. Hey, remember that trick I showed you guys earlier where you can cross things off? Well, cross off the zeros, cross off the zeros. That leaves us with 40 divided by 1. 40 divided by 1 is simply 40. There we go. We're done. Congratulations. Move on. All right, example number 6. Remember, let's see if it shows up with our percent already on there. Yes, it does. Here we go. Remember, it is over of equals percent over 100. Okay, what do? We first identify it. Here we go. 5. 5 is. Well, congratulations. That's the is. 25% over here. Of what? So the of is what? Okay, go ahead. 5 times 100 is 500 divided by 25. 25 goes into 52 times. 2 times 25 is 50. Subtract, we have a 0. How many times does 25 go into 0? 0 times. 0 times 25 is 0. Subtract, we're done. That equals 20. The answer is 20. Congratulations. All right, we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your independent practice. You need to pause this video right now. I will show you the answers in just a minute. Go. All right, I'm back. I want to make this really quick, okay? X over, you should have had 5% over 60, and, oops, sorry, not 60. Totally messed that up. Shouldn't do that. 60% over 100 all the time. 60 times 5 is 300 over 100. It should have been x equals 3. Okay, you would have gotten x equals 3. Next one, 80 is 80 at the top, 50%. Okay, this is 100. We don't know this one. 80 times 100 is going to be 8 with 3 zeros, and we're going to divide that by 50. How many times is 8 going to 50? Well, I'm going to cross off those zeros because I can. 800 goes into 5. Let's see. That was going to be 160. Okay, so our answer is 160. Hopefully you got that one. Next one, 40% of 30. So here we go. 40% over 100 of 30. Okay, it's going to be x. Times 3 is 12 plus 2 zeros. 1200 divided by 100. I'm going to cross off those ones. Should have gotten 12. The answer was 12. I'm going to go ahead and make some space, so erase that. I'm almost done. Sorry guys, this is a long one, but this is super important. What number is x, okay, of 20? We have a percent, which is 12% over 100. We should have done 20 times 12, which is 24 plus a 0 is 240 divided by 100. We can cross off those 1 zeros right there. Look at that. Okay, cross off that 1 there. And now we need to simply divide. Okay, so 24 divided by 10. Well, that one's going to be a little bit interesting. You should have gotten 10 goes into 24 2 times. 20, we have something left over. What do? Well, we add a decimal and a 0. Okay, a decimal and a 0. If we would have done that, okay, you would get your 40, and that would be 4 times. So the answer would be 2.4. Okay, so the answer is 2.4. What number is 12% of